Aries, welcome back. We're here to do your update for May 2023. We're going to cover the astrology for what's coming up this month and then straight into how this is going to hit your zodiac sign in every area and facet of life. So career, love, you name it, we're covering it. Without further ado, let's have a look at the transits and what I see coming through and what to be prepared for. Now, number one is eclipses always come in sets. Yes, we just did have the eclipse in Aries, which was a double whammy. And this month, on the 5th of May, we are having a lunar eclipse, which is going to be at 15 degrees in the house of Scorpio, being a full moon. During that time, we are also going to have Pluto retrograde, but we will discuss that in a moment. There's also going to be a new moon in Taurus on the 19th of May 2023. It's at 28 degrees. I do believe, especially being close to a critical degree point, and by this stage, Jupiter will be transiting into the house of Taurus. This is going to be quite a big one. Now, as mentioned, around the first week, we're having Pluto retrograding in the house of Aquarius. First time it's in the zodiac sign retrograding, so it is going to be quite big. And I do believe spiritually we're going to be working on the axis regardless of the Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto in Capricorn, because of the degree point. So we can get two themes coming through here. Also because the eclipse is very scorpionic Pluto in nature. On the 5th, it can be very emotional. It can be that something is becoming quite final, something is wrapping up, the nodes will be shifting. So the next time we have a moon phase happening in this sign, it, especially being an eclipse, it will be out of the nodal cycle. So this is quite a big one nevertheless. Mercury is going to be in retrograde still, and that's till the 15th of May 2023. And again, there is a lot of heavy-hitting Taurian energy, which is quite Venusian in nature. Lots of different subject matters going to be coming up with the Taurus energy, but Jupiter is going to be exiting stage of Aries from the 16th, entering into the house of Taurus, which it will start its new 1-year cycle. So again, we have Uranus in Taurus, we have the North Node in Taurus, we have Jupiter entering Taurus, and Mercury in that zodiac sign retrograde going direct. So yet again, these themes within our charts and in the collective are going to be quite large. So the month is really split into two pockets. One of being some challenges and endings, especially wrapping up eclipses. I think a lot of us are going to be happy after the fact we get out of these eclipses that we can gain some sense of bearing. But also those new chapters where it does come to Taurus and Pluto's retrograde. Venus has been sitting in the house of Gemini, and it will be there till the 7th of May. This can be a theme where the intellectual energy, the communication style, the socialization, we're going to be looking at the things that we like inside of connections. Now, the values can be on a social level, social media. Interesting considering Mercury is retrograde while Venus is in a Gemini sign. So a lot of communication can be coming up. A lot of thought processes, a lot of actions and reactivity. Venus will then enter into the house of Cancer, which can be more understanding and sympathetic, but we also could be more sensitive vibrationally. We also may want to become homebodies or really look at the values surrounding home and stability and family and tribe, even though Mars is causing a little bit of conflict in that area at this point in time. Mars has been sitting in Cancer and it is deemed as in its detriment. So there can be this notion, especially when it does come to that hunter-gatherer, getting things done, that we feel a little bit out of our depth here, or almost that we're being passive or aggressive. It could be that we're moving into circumstances to protect ourselves and then pulling ourselves back and really double checking ourselves. We also could feel with certain individuals that we're unable to express our true feelings. And that can be an intuitive thing. It could be, due to a previous wound, we feel we can't trust individuals. Mars sitting in this position was a break from Mars and Gemini, which I have said before in the previous updates. However, we are going to be glad it's going to shift into the House of Leo. It's a different vibration. We can have subjects to do with leaders and superiors in the media coming up, especially superstars. Um, could be the war of tongues, so to speak. But I do particularly feel identity, vision, can even be the fashion industry can be going through a bit of a change, especially with all the Taurus energy coming up. We're going to have a look at your star sign. I do see the month really cutting into two different compartments. One is really adjusting to this eclipse and Pluto moving retrograde to really rework those dynamics and to end cycles associated to the Scorpio axis and really the North Node, Taurus, really becoming quite larger than life at this point in time. So anything digital marketing, advertising, agriculture, beauty, money, health, what else? And again, how it links to your own individual chart, but we're definitely going to be looking at innovation and money. Let's look at your star signs. Grab a cuppa, sit back and relax, and we'll get straight into it. Now, with the moons, we're going to look at first the two moon sets, then straight into your romance house for singles and couples. The moon phase is moving into the first half of the month, is going to be the eclipse in Scorpio and also Pluto moving retrograde. So the two key areas of how they're going to play out for your zodiac sign, Aries, can be quite interesting. Tension points can be coming up in your home zone, but I think that's going to dissipate as we do move into the month. And there could be subjects to do with what do I do with my home? Where do I live? How do I feel about it? Do I rent a home out? Whatever that subject matter is, it can also be to do with you personally feeling protective, but also where you're going to reside for many of you. With the eclipse axis, this is going to be hitting your 8th house. So this can be to do with tax, legacies, debt, inheritances. It also can be the other person's money. So for some, if there was a separation, for instance, it could be you're working through that. For some, it could be inside an intimate connection. You can be looking at changes happening on their side of the fence at a financial level, what they have versus what you have, and really how to create that stability. There could have been some wounds between you and a romantic interest, be it you're single and couple. And I do feel during this time, it's almost like trying to rework that, trying to rewire it. Even intimate wounds could potentially kind of venture in this sign. This could have been illicit affairs or anything to that degree. Secrets can come out. It's almost like I see a cat coming out of the bag. That is one way this can play out. But there is an ending of a circumstance that's wrapping up at this point. For some of you, it could be that you are looking at that stability and that wound in a brand new chapter. You could be feeling things are quite final. Some of you could be very direct in the direction you're going and whom you're committing to, but there can be a deep sense of desiring somebody that you really can depend on and you can build within your life. And I feel that's really what you're going to be attracted to. Also, in your own individual life, you can be breaking down the books and looking at your life in a sense of income and, resources and what you have at your disposition, what directly you can depend on. And there can be some repairs that you have through this transit. That can be white goods. It could be home-related dynamics. It could be paperwork dynamics. But I definitely see there's a potential of white goods maybe need repairing. Now, I also feel with this, whatever the brand new chapter is, it is going to be a more stable ground for you. And you're definitely going to be more attracted to building. And, I see you being very ambitious this year, not only in the area of love, but definitely in the area of your own life and the structures that you are connected to. This also can bring a time where you are really reflecting with Pluto moving retrograde, not only on your purpose and your part in situations, even potentially your career, but most definitely the people you associate with. This can be really reworking your dreams, but trying to not go away with fairies, which is going to be a little bit difficult. So there could be some circumstances surrounding friends that you are actually meeting new people, branching out. Some of you may have felt quite, how would I put it? Like this is the way things are. We've been friends forever. This is really healthy for me. It could be that these individuals at times control you or try to micromanage your feelings where it comes to maybe your own individual path moving forward. I do see you really kind of having two feelings towards it. One minute you could be very, no, this is the tried and true. This is what we've always done. And then the next is, I need to be open to new experiences and I need to cut this situation off. I do think some of you are going to critically look at your dreams. And, the funny thing is, when we do look at manifestation and we look at the spiritual world, especially being a psychic medium speaking from this point, yes, I went through this totally myself, where from a spiritual point of view, it's very 5D. It's the highest octane a situation can be. But then when you do get down to the basics, we get into that egoic standpoint. And yes, currently Mercury's retrograde, so there's going to be ego. We're going to be intellectualizing the situation. And so we can actually unintentionally co-create blockages. Spiritually in the 5D, there is a dream that can be achieved. If you do get too much in your head and you're not open to these different doors and different avenues, you might hold on for grim death. And that generally ends up being counterproductive. It's asking you to kind of go with the vibe of what you're feeling, go with the heart-centered energy and, reach for the clouds. This can also be where you are reworking your wealth and your money during this time, your courage, your self-esteem, your leadership goals, where you want your life to be, whom you want your life to be with, and really knowing that, yes, universe can come in and help you, but you may take on a lot more of you could take this quite personally during this time, but you're also going to find the wealth in these connections and what it's going to bring towards you. But I really do see a balancing of money. And you could actually derive some of this from home-based businesses, assets, family, tribe, and the things that you do. Even side hustles and hobbies, I do particularly feel are a potential here. As we reach the next moon phase, this can be really large opportunities for courage, for wealth, for material value. Some of you could secure an asset or decide to, this could be renovations, it could be moving home. I do definitely see this, especially because Jupiter's going to be here. Some of you this year moving forward could travel. But your professional resources are going to be growing. This can be through social media. This can be through any Venusian energy. So it could be money. Again, feel free to book a reading and I could look at your individual chart and we can interpret it. In a career sense, for instance, this money that can be coming to you could be a lottery, it could be agriculture, it could be the beauty industry or food and eateries. There's growth here, but you're definitely going to have, especially your net worth and your professional resources, you're going to have the gift of the gab. I would say it does also create a potential of eating a bit more. So, you'll be glad Jupiter's exiting your first house because that can increase kind of weight gain or opportunity or horizons and even pressure points, but it does push you to grow and move. Many of you could have traveled quite a bit, be it by road or plane. Let's look at your love life. Now, love, and I have said this, especially to the clients that I coach, that it is a little bit like you are being placed in a desert and the spotlight is on you and it's saying, what do you want, Aries? And that can be very unhinging, especially when we've been used to it being polar opposite and all one side of the fence. So how can this look for both singles and couples? It can be, what do you want in this situation? Not how do they feel? Are we on the same page? Step back just for a moment and say, I have till here until July, and it is going to be on my shoulders. Now, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. That can be that the world is going to be your oyster and you have some changes. Your image is going to change. How you see yourself is going to change. Your opportunities and how you tackle those circumstances will change. But it also will be that you are going to become a leader in some sense. And have some revelations about patterns inside of connections, which is really great. The first and the seventh house, because the nodes are shifting, it's sort of like your part in the situation and another person's part. And the axis of Libra is going to go to the south node. So could you guys become very obsessed with your career, your goals, your aspirations? Yes. But it's also saying, even inside your relationships, what part do you have in it? Because we always do have to look at both sides of the coin. It can be that you have more opportunities than you think, and that you're going to create a new style of a relationship where you can be independent, but also have an intimate connection. Have you ever thought back to times where you were in a relationship and it was like, right, everything's on me. I've got to be X, Y, and Z. All my hopes and dreams and aspirations have to be on the back burner. I can't have both. This is a situation where it's showing you that's fallacy, that you can have both, that you can actually have a relationship and have dreams and have autonomy, as well as having an intimate connection. So be open to such, and I think this can be quite positive. You can have some things surrounding home and family that come up, and this can be a bit tense until about the 20th. But I also do feel, as we do move forwards, you can have some empathy and understanding, and you can have some really romantic connections coming up. And this is going to be mid-month, is going to be quite romantic for you. It also can be quite hot and heavy and passionate mid-month. This also, for those of you that are single, you're going to have the gift of the gab. I want you to trust yourself. Don't go into dis-ease. Move into the pleasure zone of the communication, the speaking lovingly, the self-esteem. Know that you're worth it, and know that somebody is, that love is going to come your way. It is going to be hot and heavy, and your sacral chakra, for those of you that know anything about your chakra system, the intimate energy mid-month is going to spike for you, and this can be a very passionate time. Could it be the War of the Roses for some? Yes, it could be, but that's more so for those of you that are having very tense times and very, very toxic situations. Overall, I do see this to be a positive time for you. It's going to be extremely busy. I would say you are going to need to, until about mid-month, be quite flexible, especially with your schedule, because at a drop of a hat, you could get pulled in different directions. This can bring those blasts from the past back. It's not a bad thing to deal with those individuals. It's especially great because Mercury isn't a Venusian sign, which means that you will have an opportunity to rework those old situations. Now, career is going to be doing pretty good for you, depending on the current situation you're in. Those of you just deciding to go into a venture on your own, a bit of a side hustle, there is a potential there. You can derive income also from home. Now, this could be a home-based business. It could be from family and tribe. It could be gifts that they're giving you in legacies. Could be inheritances with the Scorpio eclipse. But I do see overall you're trying to cross your T's and dot your I's. Now, I do see income and potential wage increases coming here. I also see there's a potential that you could be hearing from old bosses, especially if you are working for a company, be it you are looking at a creative project inside your own personal business or superior roles. There does appear to be something to do with money that you're going back to the table about. So if you did start a job or you're currently doing something, I feel as though during Pluto retrograde, there could be a large project or a large dream that you're undertaking. And, during the retrograde, it can help you to review it. Some of you, if you feel that you're on the wrong path, you guys have had challenges in your career because of Pluto's position previously. It is going to revisit that location. So you could be feeling you're getting 20 steps ahead of yourself and you're being dragged back. That's not a bad thing. It's going to show you, okay, it's not you can't have the job, you can't have the dream. Is there something you missed in that? Was there something that you cast out that you need to revisit? Maybe as an opportunity. Okay. So don't look at it as, okay, future tense, when this pops off, I'm going to be dragged back. I'm going to be a failure. I'm not seeing that. I am seeing, because Pluto had been in your career sector for 20 odd years, which is ending it's wrapping it up this year. These are the waters we're moving into, but it does mean after this, you're going to be able to rework through what you believe was stability, how you can do those things. And it's going to hit different areas of your chart. So it's going to take the pressure point off that. I think it's a good thing. It's a break. Be cautious with, I would say, your schedule. Be cautious with overspending. But I definitely do see where it does come to wealth and possessions. Secure your things in your car. So if you're driving, make sure you're locking things in your car. Where it does come to emails and communication, you're going to have to be really patient. Mercury is retrograde. Cross wires can occur. And I do see you having to run about and having quite a bit on your plate. So try and be patient with yourself. Like I said, wealth really linking and deriving from career or home can be coming up. If you were on the fence to do with something that you wanted to deal with within home, this could come to a head this month, and I think a major decision will be made. I also do feel value coming in that area. So if there was tension points, it's going to calm down, be it's a decision or a direct vibration that is going to harmonize. You can have some white good repairs that you need. This could be coming through this month, which can be an unexpected expense. This also could be some paperwork related dynamics or wrapping up a large bill, which is a huge potential. You do have lady luck with lotteries, but I would say overall, I do feel that's the mid-month sign. The other area I see as a potential is reworking the current cash component than you already have. You could end up having more than you actually think, but it could be by shifting things around that you're able to bring that in. I also feel you can have some major creative ideas during Pluto retrograde, as well as unique ways to actually get you where you want to go with the finances. The other thing I would say, your social dynamics are going to be quite large this month as a potential. But Jupiter energy coming in is going to sprinkle fairy dust on you and give you some lady luck with such. Now, your wellness sign is a whole different a whole different game. Number one, Mercury retrograde is a time where you do need to look after your wellness more so. That is because your placement collectively for your zodiac sign is Virgo in the health domain, which is very Mercury in nature. I do feel a lot of you can have like throat chakra. This can be eating, it can be diet. You also can be really critical of your appearance. So don't be surprised if during this transit this month, you may feel very sensitive. You may feel at times insecure. Jupiter also being in your zodiac sign, Jupiter in the first house can cause a couple of challenges. Apart from most of it is positive. One thing is it expands your horizon, it takes you to the stars, but it also can expand the belt. It is transiting out of the sign, your zodiac, and into your second house. The only thing I can say about this is Taurus is Venusian. Taurus is the caviar, the cupcakes, the cheesecakes, the beverage that just looks too good to turn away. There is an opportunity with tension points and with emotional eating coming through with this position. This also can increase your assets. So yes, you could have growth in your pay pack. You can have growth really coming through in other areas of life, but it also can make you eat a lot. So being aware of that. It is only a 1-year transit. So it doesn't have to be negative. Wear loose clothing if possible to counteract it, to balance it out. But self-esteem related dynamics can come in. Now, there's also very separately, it can be that when you're tense, you can turn to a drink or you can turn to a pacifier. Even though it's going to be a new moon, with all the tense energy from the previous eclipse, Mercury going direct, Jupiter transiting signs, it could be for some of you that you're going to be socializing, eating, drinking, enjoying the merriness. Others, it can be tension really rising to the top and utilizing pacifiers to deal with stress. I would say a good way to balance that can be spiritual baths, but I definitely would do it after the eclipse and not before. Oh, you can do it before, but really entering into the month is a bit of an iffy one because we literally have 5 days and then the eclipse is there. So if you are going to do any spiritual baths, I'd do them in the first 2 days. After the eclipse, leave it for a couple of days. You then can do your spiritual practices. I would say, especially with food during the month of May, being cautious of meat products. If you're very aggressive, if you're very amped up, avoid the red food products. If you definitely check the use by dates because we have the Scorpion energy, how it can manifest, especially through our chakras, is off meat. Food poisoning, things to that degree. So paying attention to that, keeping your surfaces clean, also looking after your nervous system, doing things to actually enhance and support it. And definitely, if you feel something is off and awry, going and getting it checked. The key areas of your body I do see coming up is your throat chakra. I would say drive carefully. This can be oral hygiene. I especially feel spiritually you're being very strict with yourself. You can also have elements of psychology that does come up here and there. But again, just be very understanding that have the confidence and the courage to jump in the deep end to get things done. And I also feel feminines can have heavier cycles during the eclipse. Hope to see you soon. If you do want a private booking, you can go to all the information directly below wherever you are watching this. Have a wonderful month. Enjoy yourself. Take care, and I'll see you on the other side.